Hi, I wanted to talk to you about heartbreak today. I've had a client in my clinic this morning who was saying to me, Sarah, this is like a real physical pain. Like, how can heartbreak feel so real? Like, I really feel like my heart is breaking. And I know that this is a common problem for lots of people who are going through a difficult breakup. It actually does feel like a physical pain, which is crazy because obviously your heart isn't actually physically breaking, but it does feel like that. So she was asking me how can she get that pain to go away. So we discussed it a lot today, and I wanted to capture it for you guys because I know it affects so many people. So one of the things with actual real heartbreak is because where our focus is mentally is on all the good times we had. Now, obviously, if you're going to think about all the good times and reminisce, then that's going to re-anchor you to what you're missing and create those feelings, those negative feelings of sadness and pain and upset. So we really have to take control of this as a mental step to shift your focus. So there's a couple of ways you can do that. The first thing I would suggest is write down a list of everything that wasn't right in your relationship. Now, for some of you, you might find that hard, but there will be things that weren't great about your relationship. Because what we tend to do during a breakup is romanticize about the good times and almost sort of strap on sort of rose-tinted glasses and only see the good stuff. And we forget some of the bad stuff. You know, there must have been, and there always is, no relationship is perfect. There must have been some tough times, some difficult times. So what I'd like you to do is just list them down, physically write a list. I know it's old fashioned, type it if you want, but actually I want you to create a written list that you can actually see and hold in your hand, because it's important just to get it out of your head and onto paper, or even as a notes page on your phone, so that you've got it to refer to. So when you start to feel that physical pain, that you can shift your focus onto, oh, well, actually, yes, there are things I'm missing, of course, but there's also some things here that I don't miss. You know, it's about getting that balance, because when you're stuck in heartbreak, it's because that balance has shifted to everything you're missing out on. And it's not focusing on the things that are going to come, that are going to be better, or things that you might enjoy. So that's part of it, is taking control of this. So my first tip would be to write that list of everything that was wrong with the relationship, maybe that you didn't like, maybe it was a little bit annoying, maybe it was a big thing, maybe they weren't kind, maybe, you know, it was small things. It could be anything, but write the list down, because I want you to start seeing in reality what there is, so that when you start imagining and romanticizing, as we all do, about the relationship that's broken down, we can then see hard evidence of actually there were also things that weren't that great. So it gives us a bit more perspective and a bit more balance. So that's one thing. The other thing I would suggest is to do something more physical, because if you're sitting feeling heartbreak, that can be excruciating. So what you need to do is to move your body. So we need to shift our physiology, because if you shift your physiology, it's going to create a different state in your mind. So even just forcing yourself to smile, and I know a lot of you probably don't feel like smiling right now, and I get that, but actually just the act of smiling, even a fake smile, triggers muscles in your face that send a message to your brain saying, oh, I'm feeling happy. So it will enable you to dial down those negative emotions just a smidge. So try it. It does work, even though maybe if you're sitting in a public place, it's maybe not the easiest thing that you want to do. But also just getting outside, taking some fresh air, going for a walk, you know, going to be around nature. I know I talk about that a lot in my videos, but actually the impact of being outside in a beautiful environment can also calm the nerves and dissipate that pain. Now, I have clients that come to me, and I live near an area of which is absolutely beautiful, with a lake and a forest. So sometimes clients want me to go walking with them in that area, and I coach as I walk, because actually there's a double whammy there. So some clients prefer to be in my clinic where they can curl up on my sofa and have a mug of tea and we can chat it through. You know, it's different for everybody, so it's whatever works for you. But I do recommend getting outside, because I can see the transformation in clients of just walking outside and looking and noticing and being mindful of what's going on around us. So, you know, maybe it might be a squirrel in the tree. Just focusing our mind on other things is actually a good thing. So actual other things that are natural and beautiful really does help. So number one, write your list. Number two, get outside and move your body. Number three, you know, it's important not to stuff these emotions down, because that may be contributing to you feeling this physical pain, as your body's saying, I need to release these negative emotions in some way. So, I mean, if some of you, I know one of my clients I know is a big fan of boxercise since her breakup, and she goes to a class and she finds that really useful to get out those pent up emotions. It could be exercise for you, it could be talking to someone, it could be talking to a friend who's, remember with friends, pick them wisely, not someone who's going to pour fuel on the flames, but someone that can really help you move forward in a constructive way. So that might be one way of doing it, or go to your GP, find a counsellor or a coach who specialises in this area, who can really help you move forward, because talking about things often helps. So that's another thing, talking about things. And number 4, I would say, if you're the kind of person that likes writing a diary, then just write things down. Because at the end of the day, if you can just jot down, even if it's just how you're feeling, the main emotions you felt, it's almost like brain dumping a lot of that from your head onto paper. Now, if you're finding it hard to sleep, obviously heartache, that physical pain, can stop you from sleeping as well. And I know at night time it can be so difficult, can't it? Because your friends aren't available to take the calls. It can be quite isolating. You might be in the bedroom where your partner used to lie next to you. It can all be very difficult, and it can seem like one night can seem like an eternity. So different techniques you can use at night time just to get you through. I would suggest, maybe reading a book so that you actually fall asleep reading the book, or watching a movie, a happy movie or a documentary, or something that just switches your attention away from what you're worried about and how you're feeling, just for that time before you go to sleep. You've got to work out what works for you. Some people say to me, if I watch TV, it keeps me awake. So obviously that's not for you. There's also some fantastic meditation apps where you can put them on and just listen to something calming, maybe just calming music. Spotify have great, or any other platform, have lots of different moods you can pick. So it might be relaxing. So just choose what works for you. You've got to listen to what works. If it's not working, then change it. But do test these things out, because you might be surprised. You might think, oh, that would never work for me. And then, wow, it does. There's also, Paul McKenna has a book called I Can Make You Sleep. And that one of those chapters is a hypnotic induction. So if you just put that on, listen to that while you're lying in bed. It's a double induction, so it makes you feel very sleepy. You can't follow what he's saying very easily because it's 2 conversations at once. Which is really interesting, because it's all positive affirmations that are reprogramming your mind in a positive way, but it's also very relaxing. And you can't really follow it, so your brain sort of switches off, and quite often you'll fall asleep, if not just be deeply relaxed. So that's another suggestion. So I hope these have helped. The heartache, that physical pain does go. Time is a great healer, but as I keep saying, there are lots of things you can do just to power through, and a lot of that is just changing your focus slightly on how you look at it, so you're not focusing all your attention on it, and shifting your focus to creating a brighter future. Quite a lot of us get stuck in that heartache because this future is either a black hole or just a blank canvas, but it's not bright enough. We haven't painted it yet. We haven't looked at the options. We haven't thought, if I could redesign my life, what would it look like? And then started to throw some colour on there and make it more clear. Because the more clarity you have, the more options you have, the more you've got to get excited about. So I hope that's helped you to dial down that physical heartache and to move forward. Have a good day. See you soon.